Hello and welcome. Time to keep you abreast of what's going on in the Sunshine State. My name is Adebimpe Akindele. The Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation News Department today conducted its weekly editorial meeting in the Yoruba language, a deliberate effort to promote indigenous communication and sustain the cultural heritage of the Southwest. The session, which took place at the corporation's newsroom in Akure, brought together editors, reporters, and production staff who discussed story ideas, coverage strategies, and content improvement entirely in Yoruba language. Our correspondent, Abidemi Akinrotoye, covered the report. We'll bring you that in our subsequent bulletins. After a 7-week holiday, students in Ondo State have resumed for the 2025-2026 academic session. As early as 7 a.m., students were sighted at various bus stops waiting for shuttle buses to convey them to school. In all schools Osrc crew visited, some students were engaged in cleaning the premises, others were busy moving lockers and chairs from their former classrooms to their new spaces at new intakes, and their parents also made last-minute preparations. At Oyemekun Grammar School, Akure students turned out in large numbers for the new session, but attendance was noticeably scanty in some schools, particularly at St. Peter's Demonstration School. School administrators, however, expressed optimism that the new academic session will be impactful and rewarding for all learners.
The resumption, what we are expecting, I think the turnout of the pupil is low a bit, but we didn't blame them because of the circular fly around that there's not going to be school today. But we still thank God in St. Peter's. We have most of the pupils on ground. We have some new pupils among us this morning.
I feel relieved and I know that we are going to start working.
Scholarships and bursaries remain one of the most powerful tools in shaping the future of students. By easing financial burdens, they create opportunities for academic success, innovation, and personal growth. In this report, our correspondent, Nifemi Abayomi, looks at Ondo State 2025 Scholarship and Bursary Scheme, works the requirements for access, and clears the air on misconceptions surrounding the process.
Is a proven pathway to sustainable growth, and scholarships play a crucial role in making it accessible. To keep the pathway open, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has recently approved 350 million naira for the 2025 scholarship and bursary scheme. In 2024, bursary allowance were doubled from 10,000 naira to 20,000 naira per student, with 75,000 earmarked for students with disabilities and 100,000 naira for scholarship awardees. A clear sign of the administration's commitment to supporting talent. According to the Commissioner of Education, Professor Ibekele Ajigbefun, arrangements are underway to ensure prompt payment to over 12,000 Ondo indigenes in tertiary institutions across the country.
Mr. Governor had approved the money, but the department that is responsible for bringing up the students for the award, they are carrying out proper verification. Some of the schools, institutions, they had verified their students. The list we sent to them, because we have a website where all qualified students are expected to register. but we still have to go to those institutions for the institution authorities to verify that this is our student. Truly, this student is in good standing. He has not been withdrawn, or she has not been withdrawn, and so on and so forth. So it is after that verification before disbursement can be made. So some of these schools have not verified their list. We are waiting for that. As soon as the verification exercise is concluded, they start to get their awards.
The commissioner outlined the eligibility criteria and explained the stages each application must pass through before scholarship and bursary are disbursed.
All verified students who are indigenous of Ondo State that meet the requirement, for instance, for scholarship, there are certain requirements, certain CGPA, cumulative grade point average, that is their performance in either in the university or that tertiary institution. So that level of performance is needed for a student to get scholarship. The second category is a bursary award. Students that don't have up to that level of performance that is required for scholarship. Then we also have financial assistance. So it's a large number.
The Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Student Affairs speaks on the challenges faced by students and the expectations of the government. He noted that while thousands benefit annually, many are still out because they are unaware of the opportunities available.
When you are asked to register, some will not even pay attention until the registration closes. So, what can you do? And sometimes, I can remember last year we gave extension twice for them to register. And like everybody knows, information is key. When you get information, utilize it. Make use of the information.
Responding to the rumor of extortion, I assure that the scholarship process remains transparent and free from any form of manipulation under the current administration. As the scheme expands, more students are expected to benefit in the coming years. By investing in scholarships, Ondo State is not only supporting education, but also building a generation of skilled and confident leaders. Oluwanifemi Abayomi, Osrc News.
Education stakeholders in Ondo State have welcomed the federal government's introduction of new subjects into Nigeria's primary and secondary school curriculum. The reform, which features artificial intelligence, journalism, robotics, programming, and the return of Nigerian history, is being hailed as a bold step towards building a skill-driven education system. But there are also concerns about how prepared schools are as the policy is set to take off in the 2025-2026 academic session. Blessing Obe reports.
For decades, Nigerian school curriculum has centered mainly on traditional subjects such as English, mathematics, and the sciences. While this remain essential, experts say the system has trailed behind global trends, leaving students ill-equipped for the challenges of a fast-changing world. To address this, the federal government recently announced a comprehensive curriculum overhaul to begin in the 2025-2026 academic year. Under the new policy, subjects like journalism, programming, artificial intelligence, and robotics will be introduced, while Nigerian history returns as a compulsory subject from Primary 1 to GSS 3. School administrators in Ondo State see the reform as an opportunity for learners to acquire skills relevant beyond the four walls of the classroom.
In line with anything technology, so she loves it, and we started STEM. Our children can build websites. This robotic, I think she's already in it. Everything technology, she's into it. For example, we have camera all over the school. As you're coming, she'll just go there and see who is there. So all over, she likes everything technology because we are in, era of technology. So whatever I know, everything is in place for her to introduce all of these things. Our students, even the holidays, they come for, this STEM program every Tuesday. They are there. for the man that is teaching them. We have a website built by the students.
So since we have robotics lab in the school, so the ones they are making for us is innovation stroke technology stroke entrepreneurship. So I believe that before the middle of this session, we will be able to start our innovation. We will get some people that will be, although some people have been coming to train us, we have our laboratory there, some NGO have been coming to train our students, but we want to have it as part of our curriculum in the school.
Chairman of the Academic Secondary School Administrators, Ondo State Chapter, Tajudeen Balogun, applauded the initiative, describing it as a reflection of government's resolve to reposition the education sector.
It's a good development and it's welcomed by us, but what we are saying is how prepared is the federal government to make sure that this works out well. You want to look at power supply. Are we very efficient in it? The teachers who are going to teach these subjects in school, are they readily available? If you take that of journalism, for example, I wouldn't now know if you as a journalist would prefer to come and become a teacher in the school to teach journalism to you being a journalist in an outfit like this. So these are the challenges. Until government sits right and make teachers become one of the first-class citizens of Nigeria, it is still going to be difficult. But it's a good development and it is workable. Let's start it. In some schools, like in Ondo State, they have schools where they do robotics before. So we want to encourage others that they have it, but government to support these schools to make sure that they get it right.
However, some stakeholders warn that without adequate teacher training, upgraded infrastructure, and proper funding, the implementation could face serious challenges. Educationists maintain that if effectively executed, the new curriculum could empower Nigerian students with the digital skills and literacy needed to compete on the global stage. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
Away from education now, Nigeria has in recent years placed priority on food and nutritional policies amid rising concerns about malnutrition, food insecurity and health outcomes. Hence the visit of the Ondo State House of Assembly Committee on Food and Nutrition to Hospitals Management Board towards ensuring that such policies are translated into action. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshilola Adesoyajai has more on it.
The Nigeria's national policy on food and nutrition was first adopted in 2001 through a multi-sectoral framework aiming to reduce malnutrition, especially among children, pregnant and lactating mothers, through improved security, dietary practices, access to safe water and sanitation, as well as health services. And in a bid to review and update the policy, the federal government's revised policy serves as a 10-year blueprint to guide interventions across sectors such as agriculture, health, education and social welfare. Despite the policy framework, Nigeria still faces serious challenges such as rising food prices, inflation, insecurity in food-producing areas, among other factors. That was the reason Ondo State House of Assembly Committee on Food and Nutrition visited Hospital Management Board, one of the delivery agencies charged with the administration of public hospitals. Welcoming the parliamentarians, Chairman of the board, Dr. Olusegun Ategbole, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Ojo Adiji, appreciated the committee's proactive engagement and outlined the current efforts of the board to incorporate nutrition into clinical services.
In terms of that function, we still have to go back again and see what we can do. We need to call the stakeholders, especially the CMD and the dietitian, what we do. If I cannot be feeding the whole patient, we must have a demonstration film that when they come for that data, we demonstrate. Right now, when I was medical student told this, we had to cook. He said we had oil, everything, cook it, so they will see it and make sure that all of us are well secure.
He noted that some hospitals under the board have begun implementing nutrition-sensitive programs, but highlighted challenges such as inadequate funding, staffing gaps, and lack of specialized nutrition equipment hindering the progress of the policy. Chairman of the committee, Nelson Akishuroju, emphasized the critical role of nutrition in public health and reiterated the commitment of the Assembly in ensuring that health institutions in the state integrate proper nutrition practices into patients' care and recovery.
As we here, the committee in National Assembly, we seek for your robust contribution with your ministry, and our committee aims is to drive impactful change in Ondo State. We are committed to ensure adequate budgeting personnel for the nutrition and food security in the upcoming budget.
Other members of the committee assured the board of their commitment to advocating increased budgetary allocation and policy frameworks that will make nutrition a key component of healthcare planning and delivery. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
We now go back to the story on the editorial meeting at the Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, Osrc, and Orange FM News Departments today conducted the weekly editorial meeting in the Yoruba language, a deliberate effort to promote indigenous communication and sustain the cultural heritage of the Southwest. The session, which took place at the corporation's newsroom in Akure, brought together editors, reporters, and production staff who discussed story ideas, coverage strategies, and content improvement entirely in Yoruba language. Our correspondent Abidemi Akinretoye now reports.
Editorial meetings are the heartbeat of every news organization. They provide the platform where journalists brainstorm, set ethical standards, and decide how stories will be reported and presented to the public. This week, the joint editorial meeting of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, Osrc TV, and Orange FM was held in the Yoruba language. This development comes against the backdrop of concerns that Yoruba, once a dominant means of communication across the southwest of Nigeria and even parts of West Africa, is gradually losing ground, especially among younger generations who often prefer English in daily interaction. Without deliberate efforts, the language could face extinction within decades. Yet, Yoruba continues to enjoy global recognition. It features in academic curricula in Europe and North America, is taught on language learning platforms, and remains central to cultural festivals in Brazil, Cuba, and the United States, where descendants of the African diaspora keep its traditions alive. By holding its regular editorial conference in Yoruba maiden edition, Osrc is not only strengthening newsrooms' professionalism, but also affirming the value of local language in modern journalism. The Director of News and Current Affairs, Mr. Taiwo Ibitoye, said the initiative is aimed at rescuing endangered languages.
We are saying that it is time for us to value our language so that our identity will not go into extinction. That's why we conducted our editorial meeting in Yoruba language.
Also, the head of News and Current Affairs of Orange FM, Mrs. Adebimpe Akindele, describes the step as a renewed commitment to broaden Yoruba content across Osrc radio and television.
You go to international conference and you see people speaking their dialect. You only have interpreters who convert or speak to them, to interpret to English language. It's wrong for us to tag native or mother tongue vernacular. We should start speaking Yoruba to our children. Yoruba is the most guilty. Any other tribe in Nigeria, you see them, when they see themselves, they speak Yoruba.
They encouraged staff to write and translate stories in the language and to partner with scholars and cultural advocates. Other journalists said the bold step by Osrc is proof that editorial policies, when creatively applied, can preserve indigenous identity while elevating journalistic standards.
It afforded us the opportunity of actually knowing some things that we didn't even know the Yoruba names for them. And those names too, and those Yoruba names that we thought maybe is really Yoruba language, that are not Yoruba language, that are borrowed language into Yoruba. And like, when you were talking about some of those things came through religion, like Alubarika, like Alubosa, which is onion. Alubosa is not a Yoruba name. It's a borrowed language from, from the north.
You just discover that many of us, we can't speak our dialect. It doesn't make me happy. I would love to speak my dialect. Unfortunately, my parents never spoke my dialect to me, so that's the reason. So I try as much as possible to speak Yoruba language to my kids. I don't even speak English to them.
With this initiative, Osrc is setting an example for other media houses that indigenous languages can thrive in contemporary journalism when given pride of place. It is a reminder that preserving culture begins with everyday choices, including the language in which stories are told. Abidemi Akinro-Toye, Osrc News.
That's Sunshine Report. Join us later. Good afternoon.